Hello everybody, NGS here. Welcome to the new year. Time for Symphogear. Episode 11, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I am, because I double checked that before, but let me triple check that, and it is indeed time for episode 11. New year for you guys on Patreon. A day late, I think, a day after the new year, but well, do forgive me. Had some issues over the new year with my guts. Let's just say I'm still not quite well, but hey, it's the new year. You gotta start the year the exact way you want the whole year to go. And I want my year to consist of watching and recording anime. So that's how I have to start it, right? So, episode 11. Episode 11, the first frame, I already see some intense battle going on, and rightfully so, or rather, unsurprisingly, because of the way episode 10 ended. Episode 10 consisted essentially of the whole ritual of opening the gates of Orion, or whatever you want to call them, and yeah, that was essentially it. The whole episode was just Saint-Germain, Tiki, and Adam opening those gates, and of course our Symphogear friends trying to prevent that. In the end, it culminated in Saint-Germain seeing the error of her ways and joining hands with Hibiki to take a stand against Adam. A little bit late, if you ask me, but she was probably all this time just lying to herself. And now Adam just said openly that, yeah, you probably could use this power to help humanity and lift the curse of Balal and make everybody live happily ever after, but I'm not gonna. I just want to be a god. Is that too much to ask for? So now Saint Germain no longer can lie to herself, no longer can excuse the actions of Adam, that, oh, all of that is needed because the end goal is for the betterment of humanity. Because she just was told in no like double words, just that the goal is not to help humanity, the goal is to make Adam a god. So, yeah. No wonder she joined Hibiki. A pity that she joined this late, but better late than never, as they say. Will they be able to stop the ritual? Probably. I mean, I'm basing it entirely off the rule that the good guys win, and they're the good guys, so they're probably gonna win. Adam is probably gonna lose. Or maybe not. Maybe the ritual will come to completion, Adam is gonna become a god, and we're gonna have to fight God instead of just someone with a god complex. Which could be the way it goes, honestly, with how much our Symphogear users started to join together into like Megazord contraptions. I honestly think it's gonna end up with planet scale Adam versus planet scale Symphogear Megazord just punching each other in the faces. Wouldn't surprise me if, I know, the Symphozor just fucking suplexed God. That'd be amazing. And wouldn't be off brand for the series. Would be very on brand for Symphogear, actually. Last ditch effort, just suplexing God over Jupiter or something. Uh, but yeah, that's in the future, probably. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see about that. Yeah, we're gonna have to see what's gonna happen in today's episode. I'm guessing Saint Germain and Hibiki are going to try to stop Tiki from channeling divinity, whatever that means, from opening the gates of Babylon. Gates of Babylon, no, sorry, gates of Orion, because now the gates are in the sky, so they can no longer rely on the keystones or whatever they're called that stop the ley lines on the ground from amassing at the fake Orion, something like that. The reflection of Orion, something like that, the Orion on Earth, essentially. Because Adam just used ley lines in the sky, because why wouldn't he? So now we're gonna have to find a way to stop the ley lines in the sky, or to stop Tiki, or to stop Adam, or to stop God when Adam becomes one. Yeah, I think that's about it. I think that about does it for the introduction. So how about I'm just gonna show you your subs so you can follow along. You're gonna need them. And my sound, which I'm gonna need to hear what's going on, and your support, of course, that I'm gonna need to keep going on. Monetary Patreon throne links in the description below, or completely free, share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing, helps the channel. And with that out of the way, we can start watching episode 11 of Symphogear AXZ in 3, 2, 1, go. Right, Kirika Zesho. I forgot that uh, she got pumped full of linker and stopped the laser beam with her Zestro. That's some great music, by the by. Yeah, an enemy of my enemy is my friend. Datosh Temo indeed. Straight into the opening. So that was essentially a last time on Dragon Ball Z moment. Hmm. Can I glean something more from the opening, I wonder? There was that weird ziggurat floating through the space. Significant? Maybe, maybe not. Lunar ruins? I've no clue. Philosopher's stones. The alternate reality that noise, alka noise, can create. No, it's mostly just a fight of Symphogear users versus whatchamacallit, versus alchemy users. Which is again something I mentioned in the previous episode. The way they completely hid Adam from the opening, that was his only appearance somewhere in the background. How? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm glad they did, but how did they manage to do that? Okay, so they are looking for some relic that can commit Deicide, I'm assuming? That's a strong hat. Not as strong as Hibiki's fist, though. And you're kinda on the same page right now. Dodging with style, huh? Yeah. That's our Hibiki, alright. Yep. If Hibiki hypothetically strikes Tiki, though, won't she get trapped in the beam of divinity, though? I wonder if that's what's gonna happen. Okay. Lost his footing a little bit. Okay. Not so untouchable, are we? I mean, that's just Hibiki, isn't it? She was the same with you. Yeah, exactly. Probably not. Yeah. Okay, creating platforms for Hibiki. Greedy, aren't we? Yes. You should try acting. Chrysopoia? Oh, he's weakened by having to direct the ley lines or something. Yep. And Hibiki going through the smoke, of course. The classic. Too late? Oh, he's not actually Adam. He's an autoscorer. Is that it? I mean, you kind of are, though, so. Unless it's some, oh no, I'm not a puppet, I'm an android or something. Some, semantic distinction. A birth of a god? A birth of a god, indeed. That's a cool design. Okay, we see the weak point at least. Right, this weird layer thing that we've already seen a couple of times. Is that like layers of reality, parallel universes? Like he sacrifices a universe to power up the attack or something? I love how subdued the sound of those attacks are. The sounds of those attacks are. Not, some big build up. Just that little zoom, zoom. That's cool. No, he literally is not a human. Yeah, a puppet. Oh, the custodians. Yeah, that's a lesson for the custodians to not discard something because it was too perfect. You should either destroy it or make it not perfect. Just gonna punch it real hard. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Turns out you can harm a god. There goes the ISS. Yeah. Oh, they lost the satellite. Hmm. What are those sparks? Did she overexert herself? Is it the effect of touching a god or something? And those shooting stars. Okay, probably shards of the satellite. Unknown. Yeah, not everybody can wait. Grandpa can't. That's your biggest worry right now. The UN coming to Japan. I guess it is his biggest worry. uh, that was a good line. I gotta admit. Of course. Okay, so shooting it can damage it, but it can just take a copy from another reality or whatever it is it's doing. Only Hibiki was able to punch through it. He wants to become a machine god. Yeah, not to rule it. They wanted the exact opposite. They wanted to free mankind. Whomst. What's that voice? Oh? Okay, whomst though? Okay, just some rando from Val Verde. That's a spear. Gaybolg. Oh, that spear. Okay. Material Yggdrasil and Yarn, whatever that is. Philosophical armament. Like the thing that was like anti-sword. Ga Gangnir? Oh, I thought they discovered a relic Gangnir, and Hibiki isn't really actually using Gangnir, something else, but no. Gangnir is the key. First time I hear that Gangnir was used to stab Jesus, but sure. So, Hibiki is special after all. Yeah, it was intended to destroy the information about Gangnir. Indeed. Yeah. Okay, using his own arm as a weapon. That's imaginative, if nothing else. Yeah, that shows your perfection. Okay, there it is. Shattered in all dimensions. Can't restore it. Yep. Kirika, you're up early. Okay, everything's falling into place. because the fate of the entire world is at stake. Oh, it's one of those astronauts. Okay, really everything is falling into place. Call back to, like, what, the first episode? There it is, glowing scarf. And a drill that will pierce the heavens. Okay, so Hibiki is Oh, I thought Hibiki is going to destroy the form, but Tiki is going to survive and the divine power with her. But no, the other way. Hibiki destroyed Tiki, and the divine form just fell apart. His arm? Uh, sure, I guess. Hibiki is okay. I recall saying in one of the episodes that Hibiki is gonna become a god. If I had $1 for every time Aoi Yuki became a deity, I'd have $2, which is not much, but it's weird it happened twice. I mean, if there's anybody who has an immaculate soul, that's gonna be a Hibiki. If there's anybody pure enough to become a god, I mean, who else? Okay. On one hand, unexpected. On the other, kinda expected. Did I have it noted down anywhere? No. No, I didn't have it noted anywhere that Hibiki is gonna become a god. Oh well. I mean, right now she just became a chrysalis. I'm assuming she's going to emerge out of it as a god. Hmm. Where's it gonna go now? Hibiki going berserk? And the only person able to calm her down being Miku? That's one way I can see it going. Kind of a parallel to when Miku was under the control of the mirror relic, and Hibiki was the only one who was able to break her out of it. Maybe, possibly. I don't know. Let's watch it again. Oh, wait, not yet. Now let's watch it again, and maybe we'll be able to glean something more of it. Shall we? Yeah, Kirika Zesho. OP, OP, OP. Hmm. Adam, not quite as powerful as he seemed to be. He can be swayed, he can be damaged, he can be hit, he can lose balance. Yeah, Tiki is the clue, Tiki is the key. Even together you're no match. Well, the facts seem to be saying something very vastly different. How is it she can join hands with someone she was fighting to the death just a moment ago? I mean, Chris, Maria. It's not an uncommon occurrence, Chris. Come on. Yeah, I'm sure I can remember just how natural it felt, indeed. And yeah, Adam isn't his cocky self all the time. He used a lot of power, and he can be hit, he can be damaged. I'll shout, even so, until it pierces the heavens. That's how she got the drill arm eventually. The actual tool that can pierce the heavens. Puppet. I guess he's angry about being called a puppet because he's insecure about the custodians creating him as a puppet, but he sees himself as more, and thus calling him a puppet kind of reminds him that he was created as a puppet. He was not created to be an autonomous thing that thinks for itself. He was created to be a tool for the custodians. And Tiki goes through a bit of a metamorphosis. I really do like the otherworldly effects they show in Symphogear. The fact that the sky is purple and green, very sickly looking, the fog, mist, vapor in the air, the yellow glow around the god, the floating debris. It looks great. It looks amazing. And Tiki in the middle. Again, at least we know the weak point. It's done. It's done. Flee in terror from the divine weapon. I really, as I mentioned, I really do like the subdued sound of those weapons. It's it's something I always see as uh, I don't know. It's kind of like a curve of flashiness and power, right? Like the flashiness and power. It goes something like no, wait, flashiness, no, power, power and flashiness. Wait, I can just use paint. That's gonna be better. That's gonna be easier to tell you what I mean. Window capture. Window capture paint. You're not gonna let me capture paint, are you? Okay, display capture. There we go. Paint. MS Paint, my beloved. Right, here we have uh, power. Here we have flashiness. Flashiness grows with power, right? Until a certain point where it just drops. And it's just like something like this from that point on. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Right? To the point you have like big booming sounds and super flashy effects. And at this cut-off point, different color maybe, at this like cut-off point, you have the moment where you can't go more flashy and more boomy, so you instead go for very subdued things. A brief just zing of an attack instead of a booming sound with like circles of fire and light and whatnot. And that conveys power much better than big, super like heavy-handed effects. One parallel that I can find, one example rather I can find, is Ichigo from Bleach, when he got his like super ultra sword or whatever it's called, Zanpakuto or something like that. All the other characters are having their morph forms of their swords are like super big and super flashy, and they have teeth and they weave and they move and shit like that. Meanwhile, for Ichigo, his big bad dragon buster sword just turns into a regular katana, and you know it's fucking powerful. Precisely because of that, because in the world of flashy weapons, he just has a katana, similar to Noragami, where Yuki doesn't become a big flashy weapon. Yuki just becomes a blade. Not even a whole katana, just a blade wrapped in some bandages, without the tsuba, without the hilt, without nothing. That's how you can tell it's powerful. I really do like this trope. And this is the exact same case here. It's not some big flashy attacks with runic circles spinning around the point of launch and I don't know, some big booming sound and shit. No, it's just some sparkles, it's a trigger star, and just a beam of yellow energy. And yet, just how destructive is it? I really do like it. They discarded me. I was still a prototype. Well, apparently the custodians aren't as perfect and as godly as they claim to be. Because if they were omniscient, if they were actual gods, if they were smart, they wouldn't discard a thing that is too perfect, right? Like when humans manage to create autonomous, intelligent robots, and they create a robot that's just too perfect, they're not just gonna throw it into the dump. They're gonna destroy it because exactly, precisely, it's too perfect. You can't allow it to exist without developing some safeguards first, at least. Perhaps Adam wasn't as perfect as he thought he is. He certainly doesn't seem perfect. He seems fairly easily beaten for someone who claims to be perfect. Miku is worried because, of course, she is. She knows shit's going down, and she knows Hibiki is involved. That's the biggest part of it, I think. Various ministers are all on the line. I don't have the time. Well, you have the time for Grandpa. You're gonna have the time for Grandpa. Grandpa is gonna force you to have the time for him. It's already an internationally known incident. You're not gonna hide it. The next move of the UN, ooh, the shadow government, is to invade Japan. That just sounds like a conspiracy theory to me, right? Like, oh, there's a world-ending threat. UN will surely use this pretext to invade our country. Oh, this damn new world order. They all want a piece of Japan. I don't know. That's how it seems to me. Maybe it's actually the case that the UN is just, you know, super stoked to get a piece of Japan. Why? I don't know. Maybe it is the case, but I don't think it is. I think Grandpa is just having delusions. Time to get checked for Alzheimer's and shit. In the end, it is I, the true sentinel, who must shoulder the fate of the country. Yeah, he seems more or less delusional to me, to some degree at least. Certainly some delusions of grandeur, some savior complex, some, he feels like he's the most important person out there. Probably is to a degree, or at least was. But I don't think he necessarily is. I don't think his protection is exactly necessarily needed. Maybe it is. Maybe he's actually going to be useful in the fight against God Biki, but maybe not. Are we even going to need to fight God Biki? If you don't, I won't believe you. Of course, no, not given your currently immense size. You'd think that after attaining divinity, she'd be able to manipulate her size at will, and she'd be able to just shrink. Why not? She's a god after all. But perhaps not. And yeah, I'm just shooting it with regular weapons doesn't work because it can bring versions of itself from parallel universes. I think that's what's happening. I'm not sure, but the visuals of those like parallel planes converging into one make me believe it just brings pieces and bits and pieces and whole versions of itself from parallel universes. Rulers such as I, one who transcends mankind. Yeah, we wanted to release mankind from oppression. You are the oppressor. A random voice. Material Yggdrasil, material unknown, material Jern. Really Gungnir. Oh, we see it very early in the top left that it is indeed Gungnir. Okay. I want to Google Jern real quick. Is it an actual thing? Jern. Oh, it's a different name for iron, apparently. At least Wiktionary seems to say so. Jarn, from Old Norse, Jarn or Yarn, Proto-Germanic, Isarna, English iron, Asen. Okay. Jarn, iron, sure. Okay, so it's bits of Yggdrasil, probably a branch of Yggdrasil, and iron tip. It didn't originally possess the power to kill gods, but it became associated with the death of a divine being, altering its true nature. So it's kind of like the theory of egregores, if you're familiar with it. The theory of egregores tells, if I'm not mistaken, if I still remember it correctly, that humans give power to things. If humans believe that there exists a deity named Blorbo, whose power is that when you pray to Blorbo, it can cool down your tea, then if a sufficient number of people believe in Blorbo and believes that prayer to Blorbo can cool down the tea, then Blorbo will come into being and praying to Blorbo will cool down your tea. If a sufficient amount of people believes that the symbol of, I don't know, inverted letter P brings great luck in finding the chips with the most amount of spices on them, then if sufficient amount of people believes in it, then if you wear a pendant with an inverted letter P and you open a bag of chips, you're always going to be able to pick up the one that has the most spice on it. Right? That's what the theory of egregores essentially says. So, if a sufficient amount of people believes that Gungnir is the god killer, then Gungnir becomes a god killer. Interesting. I like it. And apparently they were able to patch to Hibiki. The key is my Gungnir. I honestly thought there's going to be some different relic that's going to be the god killer, and that it's going to be Miku who wields it. Not gonna lie. I thought we were gonna see them just call for Miku, or Miku just barge in and say, "Hey, I want to help," and they're like, "Oh, great, we found this diabolic spear or whatever, and it's associated with Deicide. Hey, Miku, did you ever think you want to kill a god?" And that's how it's gonna go. But no, apparently not. Apparently, Hibiki has been the god killer from the very beginning. We've seen that in multiple cases. And I was wondering, is Hibiki special somehow? Turns out she is. She is very special. Or rather, Gungnir is. That fact was simply hidden. In no small part hidden by, of course, Adam. I love that he uses his own arm as a weapon. That's great. And of course, Hibiki is able to blow off the arm in all parallel universes at all. You can see it in all the slices. It's blown off equally. S.O.N.G, yeah, a callback to the first episode. Those two astronauts Yeah, when the scarf is glowing, you know she's going down. Stop Godslayer. Why would she? Why would she listen to you? My fist, powered by the 8 extremities, will tear down any gate. Release the divine power and fly into my arms. Okay, so I don't know what Adam was planning here. The god shell fell apart. Tiki was destroyed. Was it like, oh, release the divine power so that it can form a cloud and that I can suck it up? I think that might have been his plan. But he didn't see the fact that Hibiki is there, and Hibiki's heart is much more pure than his. This is a great effect, those like things sprouting. Yeah, I love it. I love this cocoon. It very much reminds me of the of like visuals in the world of witches in Madoka. Like it wouldn't be out of place in Madoka's world of witches if this was a witch in Madoka. If you could like place a cat out of Madoka somewhere in the corner, I would believe you that it's a screenshot from Madoka. How could a human harboring the original sin harbor it? She made up for the sins? Maybe, I don't know. Or perhaps she was simply the purest motherfucker around. I love the genuine shock on his face. He's not even angry. He's like, what was going on? He's genuinely shocked. I love it. I love this sudden change in demeanor. Yeah, you're turning into a god. And the pipes on Aoi Yuki to let out that kind of a scream. I pity her throat. This can be possible. Only an immaculate soul can serve as a vessel for the divine power. Do you really believe you're an immaculate soul? First and foremost, do you really believe you have a soul? Right? That's also a question. He's a machine. He's not a human. Do machines have souls? Do androids dream of electric sheep? Right? That's a question. Of course, Saint-Germain wasn't chosen for the vessel because she harbors so many sins, killed so many people. Hibiki, not a sin in her heart, not a sin in her soul. Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense, actually. Okay, that was episode 11. And boy, oh boy, what an episode it was. Another episode that was fairly like single-threaded, so to speak. There weren't particularly many different things that were happening. It was just the fight with Adam, and just the fight with Adam, essentially. So it's 49 minutes in, and yeah, that's gonna be a shorter episode, I guess. But it didn't make this episode any less significant, for sure. Um, the fact that Gangnir is the God Killer, despite me googling around trying to find out which of the relics is the God Killer, is associated with Deicide. I never would have thought that Gangnir was used to stab Jesus. Uh, is it like an actual thing in some sort of a mythology? I don't know. You guys let me know. If the spear that stabbed Jesus actually has a name. I know it's probably a relic. Fucking everything is a relic. So wouldn't surprise me if at least the tip of that spear remained somewhere and was in the depths of Vatican or something. But doesn't have a name. And is it actually Gangnir? I don't think it is. I think it's just mythology they made for the sake of the show. I don't mind it, like, don't get me wrong, but still. Um, it was to be. It's kind of predictable that Hibiki is special and that um, she's gonna be special somehow. But I didn't really see her being the god killer. I thought that her ability to punch those other things that attain divinity through the layers was something else. I probably should have seen it coming though. But I kinda constantly had the image of Miku joining as the last resort, as the final key or something. Or perhaps Kirika with Shulshagana that can rend the soul. And what is a god if not a really strong soul, right? Those kind of thoughts. But no, turns out it was Hibiki. And she just needed to learn about it. Uh, huh. Hmm. Anything else that needs to be said? I'm I'm curious what's gonna happen. I'm curious where they're gonna take it, with Hibiki turning into a god of some description. Is she actually gonna become a god? Is she gonna be a demigod? Is she gonna house a god in her soul, in her body? Is she gonna be herself, or is she gonna be transformed into someone else? Is she gonna become one with Gangnir? Is what's gonna happen? We just know the chrysalis, right? We just see that. We don't see her final form. When's she gonna emerge? Is she gonna emerge? What trigger will be needed for her to emerge? Are we gonna put everything on download for a moment and try to figure things out? Or are we jumping straight into fighting Hibiki, perhaps? Saving Hibiki? I don't know. Who's gonna be there to fight for her? Who to fight her? Who's gonna be there to save her? The only person that comes to mind is of course Miku, but she will need some tools to be able to do that, right? She will need a Symphogear of her own at the very least. Or a Philosopher's Stone, maybe. It's not, she can maybe get a Philosopher's Stone and get her Alka gear instead of Symphogear. I've no clue. I have no clue. It's kind of hard to predict what's gonna happen when you're just left with a chrysalis with Hibiki inside, and the knowledge that she's turning into a god. Interesting. Interesting where it's gonna go. Hmm. 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 Again, if I had $1 for every time Aoyuki's character turned into a god, right? Wild how that happened. Wild how that happened. Yeah, that was just a great episode. What else can I say? I enjoyed myself, but I don't have particularly much to talk about, to be perfectly honest with you. But maybe you have something more to say. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I misinterpreted something. Maybe I misremembered something. I don't know. Or you just want to tell me how did you like this episode, my reaction, my theories. So tell me down in the comments below. No spoilers, please, I beg of you. If you don't want to talk spoilers, Discord is here also in the description. Join it, there's a Symphogear channel where you can talk spoilers to your heart's content. And I'm not gonna read them because you can use spoiler tags. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Symphogear but also Gundam Witch from Mercury, Tensei Shitaraken Deshita, Management of a Novice Alchemist, Arc, Knight's Prelude to Dawn, and Madoka Magica. I'm going to be watching Rebellion soon-ish, and other anime as well. Winter 2023 season is starting soon. I'm going to be streaming, or perhaps I've already streamed it. Depends whether you watch this video on YouTube or Patreon. So you might want to check the VOD, or you might want to look forward to the stream when I'm going to be looking forward to what's coming in winter 2023. Did I tell you to like this? I think I did. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it. Yeah, I did tell you about it. Subscribe, click the bell to be notified when I go live, because I also stream sometimes. Support the channel if you want monetarily. Patreon Throne, links in the description below. On Patreon, for $10 a month, you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Symphogear, like Madoka, like others. And for just $1, you get a role in the Discord and a place in the credits. And I sometimes release seasonal shows a couple days early as well, and they all go to the $1 tier. On Throne, you can pitch in directly towards my purchase of better gear, better software, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, costs you nothing, share my content, spread the word. As I said, costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel an awful lot. And with that, out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers. And here's the list of my wonderful patrons, and you can be one of them, and you don't need to be God to achieve that.